So, welcome, ladies, to the Unlock the Secrets to Deep Emotional Mastery Masterclass. I've got my notes here because I want to make sure I don't miss any aspect of this because it's so powerful how to regain control of our emotions. And for so many of us, we live so disconnected from them. Life hits us, life rolls at us, and we are unprepared, unprotected, and we're just being hit by waves. We're reacting in a way afterwards we think, why did we do that? We respond, we commit to things we don't want to commit. We stay unhappy when we should be happy. And we sort of have begun to feel, using my own self as the example, as though life is happening to us. We don't have any control over it, which actually we don't. And we are at the mercy of life and the way we feel. Now, I know now that that is completely untrue, that we have just gotten so used to living less of a life than we deserve, less happy, less fulfilled, without knowing our life purpose. And in that state, we are not at our best for ourselves first and foremost, and for the others around us. Now, we all deserve to live happy, all of us. And we are all capable of creating both our happiness and our unhappiness. In fact, we are the only people who can create our happiness and our unhappiness. Happiness isn't created by stuff or the people we have in our lives or any external. It can be enhanced by it, but our happiness is not created there. And it's the same with our unhappiness. Our unhappiness isn't created by our lack of the people and stuff we have in our life, though that can take us down further. It's not created by it. It is created by us. So what is happiness? First of all, happiness is a state of mind, a state of being. Happiness starts in our mind and settles in our heart as the emotion. Happiness is stillness. Happiness is balance. Happiness is peace. Happiness is when we are at one. This is balance. This is peace. We're at one. We are connected. We are aware. We're in awareness. We are conscious. And we are in control, first and foremost, of our thoughts. Your happiness and mine is created first by the way we're thinking about our past, by the way we're thinking in our present moment, and by the way we are thinking as we project into the future. So it's 11 minutes past 6 now 6 minutes past 11 now on a Friday morning. And I am here in presence. I am here not in my past, not projecting into my future, not thinking of what's going to be happening later, thinking only of now, which means my energy is only in now. And I am happy. That doesn't mean I'm like, ooh, I am happy, because this is true deep down happiness. And this true deep down happiness survives and thrives in the stillness I create in my mind through my letting go of my thinking, letting go of my fear, letting go of my judgment, letting go of my needing to know what happened, when, why, by letting go of all of that. In your happiness exists in the calm of your thinking. Your unhappiness exists in the chaos of your thinking. I'm going to get the chat up to see if anybody wants any questions. So that's where happiness is created, in here, in the way we're thinking at any time, in the way we're perceiving at any time, in the attention we pay to our past at any time, at the projections we make in our minds of the future at any time, the circumstances that are going on around us and our thoughts about them at any time. And the one thing you have total control over, in fact, the only thing you have total control over, is your thinking. And I believe that most people have become so disconnected from that. Most people are so used to struggling in life and circumstances and keeping their head above the water, emotionally, financially, whatever, that they go more into their thinking to look for solutions to problems. And when you go more into your thinking to look for solutions to problems, you magnify the problem. And when you magnify the problem, you create the stronger feeling of stress, of anxiety, of grief, of guilt, of hurt. Your past, no matter what happened in it, cannot in any way affect your happiness now when you don't bring it into now with your thinking. Does that make sense? The group chat is open. So if you've got any questions, if you've got any specific questions, let me know. It's all there. So how do you let go of your thinking? What do you have to do? Well, you don't have to do more. You don't have to, you don't need to, you mustn't attach more to your thinking. You have to become aware that you are thinking in a way that creates the feelings of discomfort, of unhappiness, of stress, of anxiety in the moment, whether it's about your past, whether it's projecting into your future, whether it's you're worrying about your dog's got toothache or your son's sprained his knee. All of the perceptions you have around those things are all in here, and you hold on to them and you magnify them and you make the feeling stronger. It's always, always, always thought, feeling, action, reaction. Always, always. Your emotions, we're looking for emotional mastery here. Your emotions are the body's response to the way you are thinking. Does this make sense, ladies? Because if this makes sense, and it will, and you act on it, you act on what you're going to learn in this masterclass, you will be able to change your day, your emotional state. Sorry, someone wants to come in at any time. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being able to change your emotional state? Can you imagine waking up feeling grief, which I have done a lot recently? I lost someone I love very much in May, 3 months ago, yesterday. And every day I wake up, so I must be dreaming about him. I must be dreaming about the shock and trauma of what happened. And I have this sense of sadness within me, with grief. Now, in the past, when I didn't know what I know now, I would not have known that that grief was created by me. I would have said it was created by the circumstance. Listen to me, ladies. I would have said that that grief was created by the circumstance of loss. But actually, it's not. It's created by the way I think about the circumstance of loss, by the way I think about the circumstance of loss. So what do I do when I feel like that? Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to go from grief to joy. That's too high a step. And we're always looking for balance. But what I can do, and I know to do, is say, okay, I am thinking thoughts that are causing me this grief. How can I think instead? The easiest way to shift your emotional state, to regain emotional mastery, is to go into gratitude. It is the easiest way. So I breathe to calm myself, to calm my body, to calm my mind. In a calm mind, you are happy. In a calm mind, you have happiness. In a calm mind, you have a calm body. And I go into gratitude. Thank you for him. Thank you for the gift of having him in my life. Thank you for the gift of being able to show him how much he meant to me as I looked after him through those last weeks. Thank you for the gift of allowing him to be with me and be with him as he passed. And then I think to myself, would I rather not have had this incredible man in my life and be spared this grief? Or will I embrace this grief because it is a manifestation of the incredible man in this life that I had in my life? Can you see how that shift of thinking will create a different feeling, will comfort and support me? Any questions? Put them in the chat. It's open. So it's all about happiness is an emotion. Your emotions are created by your thinking. And your thinking about the circumstance is what is how you then feel about the circumstance. Does that make sense? So you have the event, whether it's in the past or a projection of the future, or in the current moment, the dog, the sun. You have the event. You have the way you choose to perceive the event that keeps you in calm, happiness, or peace, or takes you into fear, anxiety, or despair. Does that make sense? You have the event, and you have your reaction to the event, your choice. So the next time you go into, oh, this is happening, I don't know what to do, I want you to separate yourself out. You've got the life circumstance, you've got the life. Your life, that's the life circumstance. I am not the circumstance, I am life. How do I want to respond to this circumstance? Create a distance between the circumstance and life, the circumstance and you. And you do that by, first of all, being aware and then asking yourself the question, how do I want to respond to this circumstance? Because when you say that, you are actually disassociating. You're actually disassociating from the circumstance. You're not buying into it. Your thoughts, your whole body, your soul, your mind isn't going into the circumstance. In fact, you're stepping out of it. And in that out, you've got to pause in your thinking. You've got a different conversation. And you have an opportunity, always, 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 to react in a way that makes you feel better. So I've got a question here. This all makes sense. How do you pause a spiral in the moment? So are you talking about going to a spiral of anxiety or despair or fear? Whatever it is, actually, anxiety. Okay, so whatever it is, your anxiety is created in your thinking. The moment you are able to say, I am feeling anxious because of the way I'm thinking, how else can I think? You've got freedom. Does that make sense? The spiral only gets faster and faster and faster and faster by the way you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling anxious. And then your thoughts are magnetic. Your thoughts are magnetic. So a thought of anxiety attracts other ones. And then you become panicky and your breath starts to get shallow and maybe your hands start to sweat and your anxiety builds and builds and builds. That's the spiral. I'm feeling anxious right now. My feelings, my emotions are created by my thinking. My thinking's not serving me. What else can I think right now? What else can I think right now? You are not your anxiety. You don't have anxiety. You suffer from anxiety at certain times, people, places, and situations, and you may have gotten so used to feeling it that you expect to feel it, you expect it in your head, and so it comes. When as a result of something happening quickly, when you spiral into anxiety, you act on what you feel. Anxiety is emotion. So you take a deep breath, in through the nose for 5, out through the mouth for 7. Count the breath. You're already coming out of anxiety. 3 or 4 times. Hand on your heart. Hand on your heart. I know I'm creating this anxiety by what I'm thinking. I did choose now to feel peace or calm or joy or gratitude. What do I need to think of right now that creates joy, peace, calm, or gratitude? Make it short and simple. Keep it simple. I don't like the way I'm feeling. I'm feeling anxious. I know I'm creating this anxiety. Take self-responsibility. Because when you take self-responsibility, even in the moment you're not liking it, you're taking back your power. I don't like the way, I don't want to feel anxiety anymore. I want to feel, what do you want to feel? What do I need to think right now that will make me feel? And let those thoughts in, because those thoughts are also magnetic. You are never out of control of your emotions. Never. The fact that you don't know how to regain control is a very, very different conversation. You don't know how to, but you're not out of control of them. You're out of control of one thing, you're thinking. Emotional mastery comes down to you being aware that your thoughts create your emotions and you react to your emotions. So I want you to think, I hope you've got the workbook. If you joined late and I didn't have your email in the message request to join the group, you won't have got the workbook. Some people joined this morning. then I didn't have time to send the work out, but I want you to. Now, emotional mastery is only one of the keys to living the happier life. I'm going to go through this with you in a minute. It's one of the keys. It's a very powerful one, but there are 5. There's embracing your essence, being aware of who you are, being your authentic self. You're in your authentic self when you're not in the conditioning of your mind. What's the conditioning of your mind? The conditioning of your mind is everything you've learned to believe about yourself that holds you back in life, that you don't like, that makes you feel uncomfortable about who you are, about what you can have or what you can achieve. That's the conditioning of your mind. And that's so easy to change. When you're out of the conditioning of your mind, when you're out of thinking the things that I can't do, I can't have, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved enough, whenever those thoughts come out, oh, that's the conditioning of my mind. When you start to have a different conversation, you start to get different results. So when I feel like I can't do it, I'm not good enough, oh, that's the conditioning of my mind. Already, there's the conditioning. There's you with the awareness of the conditioning. You're no longer as deeply in it. Does that make sense? When you are not in the conditioning of your mind, which is created by your past experiences and the way you've learned to view yourself and the world, behind the conditioning of your mind is who you are, your true essence, your authentic self, where you easily have the life of fulfillment, happiness, your purpose. So that's the first step. I'm just quickly, I get so carried away. That's the first step. The second step is the ability to live in the presence, the ability to stay with your energy, not the back, front, left side, here. When your energy is here, you are strong, you are resilient, you are powerful, you are empowered, you speak your truth, you feel your truth, you act your truth. Gratitude, the third step of living happy. Being able to create and bring up gratitude at any moment. That changes your life in the instant. Emotional mastery, that's what we have here. That's what we're talking about here. And living your life purpose. Those are the 5 elements to living a happier life. Those are the 5 elements of the happiness code. And I created the happiness code, and I lean on various different parts of it because of the trauma of my life, because I was neglected as a child, because of my drinking struggle, because of my self-harm, because of my binge eating, because of my abusive relationship, because of the trauma of death, the sudden death, violent death that I've experienced in my life, as so many of us have. You can either take those experiences and allow them to shrink you down, to not feel love and joy and acceptance and forgiveness and compassion for life, or you can live the happiness code and feel happiness, joy, peace, fulfillment, know your life purpose, feel good about yourself, have the better relationships, create the life you deserve. And I don't mean that in some woo-woo shit. It's true. Excuse my language. Feel empowered. Know that you can respond in the best way for you. Know you can make the best choices for you. Know that you can calm your mind. Know you can be free from stress, anxiety. Believe it and live it. That's living the happiness code. And step 4 of that is emotional mastery. So all of you have got this. And if you haven't, I'm sorry, I've got a black and white one. If you haven't, and you've put your email in, I will send it out to you afterwards. Now, the point of this workbook is for you to take the wisdom. This isn't knowledge, this is wisdom. Knowledge is something you know, it's intellect. Wisdom is something you feel. That's like, okay, I got it. I feel better. I feel happier. I'm not scared to say what I think. I'm not scared of how I'm going to react. I'm not scared of anything. You like me? I love you. You don't like me? Thank you very much. That's happiness. That's happiness. That's being able to look at the sky and just see the clouds without any of the problems coming across like heavy, dark clouds. It's like standing in the sunshine instead of the rain. And yes, that might sound a bit sort of spiritual, if you like, but happiness is a spiritual thing. It is a spiritual thing. It's not created by the external. So it's not created by the external. It is created by the internal, and the internal is the spiritual, however you might want to view that. So I want you, has anybody got their work in front of them? And I could work through a couple of these with you. I'm going to go over. Can't see. Oh my gosh. I can see I've got comments with you. Oh, today they didn't mean to do that. See if I've got comments with you. Oh, today they didn't mean to do that. Let's turn that down. Okay. Okay, so one of you lovely ladies says it all makes sense, it works when you work it. This is why you have to take self-responsibility. Do you want to be happier? Do you want to have better relationships? Do you want to be more fulfilled in life? Do you want to know your life's purpose? Do you want peace of mind? Do you want to be free to make the best choices? If even one of those is yes, do it, work it. I'm giving you a process, work it. And work can have connotations of being difficult and taking energy. When you are going on any sort of spiritual journey, it doesn't take energy. It takes attention because it's new. It takes a little bit of gentle focus because it's new. It takes awareness to keep on track. But it doesn't take energy. It gives you energy. Fighting, resistance, non-acceptance, judgment, being focused on the outcome, being focused on again. What does it mean? How that takes your energy. That takes your energy. That takes your joy. That takes your happiness. That takes your peace. It cannot be a hard journey to get to happiness. It's hard living in unhappiness. So the only thing you need to do is take self-responsibility. I've had enough. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want more out of my life. I deserve more out of my life. I'm going to do it. And even if you don't believe you deserve more out of life, when you do the work, you will start to believe you deserve more out of life. You will start to recognize this is just the conditioning of my mind. This is just the conditioning of my past. This has no power. Your past has no, your happiness is not dependent in any shape or form on your past. Not at all. Because you only bring that past into now with your thinking. What a lovely thing I didn't plan to do. So I want you to think of a past, a time where you feel in the past, where you were hurt or angry. You don't understand why, you don't. And every time you think of it, every time you get really pissed off, really angry, really fed up. And I want you now to create that event in your mind. And I want you now, with that event created in your mind, I want you to be in it, as you always are when you feel angry. You're actually back in the moment, or you're putting yourself back in the moment. Obviously, you can't literally do that because you bring it into now. But you put yourself back in that situation and you feel those emotions of anger, fear, distrust, whatever. So I want you in that space, the space you usually go to when you recreate your anger, or your hurt, or your sadness, or your guilt. I want you in that now. And now I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And another deep breath. And I want you now, with your eyes closed in that event, to imagine yourself floating up and out of the event, out of your body, whether floating is a sound or a movement. It might be a feather, it might be the wind. And I just want you to imagine yourself floating up, floating up, floating up. Gently, 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 so that you're above the event, looking down on the event. And not only do you see the event now, you see the wider picture. You see the wider perspective. Because the higher you go, the wider your perspective is. If you're in an apartment block or a high rise and you're on level 1, you see the view from level 1. You go up to level 20, you see the city. So I want you to imagine yourself up, 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 high. And now I want you to look down on the event and see what else you can notice that gives more context to the event. For me, when I did my healing work around my mother, I floated up. This is a lovely technique. I looked down and I still saw her screaming at me. And I also saw the wider context of a woman with 9 children in 12 years, exhausted, with no money, frightened, and just wanting a bit of peace and quiet. I also saw how much she loved me on the outside of her behavior. It doesn't change the event, but it gave me huge comfort. So the event didn't change, ladies, but the way I felt about it did. Now, when you've done that and you've had a look around from that higher elevated position, allow in compassion, allow that anger, which is diminished because you're so high up, allow it to drift away. I don't know what happened. I don't need to know what happened. It happened. It's done. I'm free. And it just fall away, maybe a golden shower. And then come back, but not into the event, come back into where you are in your present. And you will notice you don't feel the same way about the event. It might not have gone completely, but if you've had a tiny shift that you created by yourself, you felt better, that shows you that you can change anything. You have life events, you have you and your perception of them. You have your life event, and you have you and your perception of them. Emotional mastery is about having the awareness of your perception of the circumstance of your life and changing that perception to a way that makes you feel happier. That's it. It's happier. And then having gentle conversations with yourself about your assumptions. What else might be true? Well, he thought that, or he thought, well, you don't know what someone else thought. You don't know. You know the words that came out of their mouth, but you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know if the words that came out of their mouth had literally nothing to do with you and had to do with the fear that that person had in their life. We don't know. So assumptions are desperate. They can really wreck our happiness. So it's about, I don't know what was going on. I don't need to know. What will needing to do bring you? It might bring you greater peace of mind, but you could spend a lot of time trapped in your own mind trying to find that, the knowing, or I don't need to know. It happened. I'm good. I don't need to know. I'm happy. It happened. I'm good. I want you to really tune in to how you feel when you do these simple exercises. Put your hand in your, I'm good. I'm good. You feel better. It's not about forgiving the other person. It's not about letting, saying it was okay. It's about you feeling good. When you feel good, you're happier. You are always, always looking for that calm in your mind, that emptiness, that non-judgment, that acceptance. Don't fight. There's no point. That only creates unhappiness. That non-judgment, I don't know. Do I need to know? No, you don't. You just want to be happy. Does that make sense? And detachment also. You have a plan. You want this to happen. Detach from the plan. Detach, like, yeah, be great, but it doesn't matter. Non-resistance, which is acceptance, non-judgment, and detachment from any life situation, circumstance, brings you back to happiness. Always. How do I want to feel? I want to feel calm. What do I need to think or not think to feel calm? So has anybody got... yes, I find I may have to revisit the event more than once to keep peeling away layers. Yes, I love that peeling away layers. I love even more letting go. Because letting go is the quickest way. It's a choice. It's a thought that creates a feeling that you repeat. Your thoughts that create your unhappy feelings, you've been running on repeat for a very long time, and you've strengthened them. And your thoughts are magnetic, so they brought other thoughts in of anger, of jealousy, of resentment, or whatever. You've brought other thoughts and you've magnetized those. So you need to make conscious decisions every day with the awareness of what you want. You want to be happier. You want more peace of mind. You want more freedom of choice. You get those by letting go, by being aware of the conditioning and letting go. And now I really want you to work through this workbook based on what we've talked about, because this is using emotional mastery. And I think it's 5 different contexts. Everything is context related, so that you learn how to become resilient in the face of life storms. Reflect on a recent challenging situation. How did your emotional response impact your ability to navigate that situation effectively? No one's else is going to see this. Work through it. Bring into your awareness. Loving relationships. Think about a past conflict. How could a deeper understanding of emotions have altered the outcome of that interaction? One of the things I find a lot with my life coaching clients is that their reactions, even to them after the event, seem excessive. And that's because they brought the past into the now, the anger, the not being heard, not being seen. And it's sort of like come with a huge rucksack on their back, and they've thrown it inappropriately at someone who had nothing to do with their past. Let it go. Let it go. It's not hard. Emotional mastery is not hard. Powerful choices. When you're in emotional mastery, when you consistently become aware of your thoughts, you're aware of your conditioning, aware of how you want to feel, aware of what to do, how to get there, you make better choices. You're not caught out. You don't get caught on the hop. You respond slower. You give yourself a pause because you are no longer frightened. The more you step into emotional mastery, the easier life becomes. And the more you step into emotional mastery, the more emotional mastery you get. It's like driving a car. You learn, you practice, you get good. I'm really good at emotional mastery. And I thank that Lord I am, because my goodness me, I don't know how I've coped in the last 9 months. I really don't. And you are always looking. Emotional mastery brings you inner happiness. It brings you a sense of calm. It brings you a sense of peace. It brings you a sense of fulfillment, and you understand who you are and your life purpose. And that's what the last question is about. So the conversation we've had, or pretty much I've had, the conversation we've had is telling you what emotional mastery is. It's being able to control your thoughts that create the feelings that lead you to act in the way you do at any time. It's being aware that your thoughts, when they don't serve you, are not you. They are your conditioning. So when I'm not good enough, I can't let go. That's just my conditioning. That's just my conditioning. You disassociate it from yourself. Letting go of pain, anger, fears, hurt, and guilt is a choice. Hands on your heart. I don't know why that happened. I don't need to know. I let go. I let go. When you go into your spiral, your thoughts are spiraling. They're magnetizing other thoughts of anxiety, and that's creating heightened sense of anxiety in your body. Then you're thinking about the feeling, and it just magnifies and magnifies and magnifies. Always take a helicopter view of what's going on. We're starting to feel anxious. That helicopter view is fun. Go up, look down, look around you. The world is a bigger place. You are the most important person in your universe, and you're not the most important person in the universe in a different way. As in, don't buy into your problems. Don't buy into your thinking. There is life circumstances, which you very rarely can change. If you cannot plan for them, life is the most uncertain thing there is. It can change like that. My God, do I know that. So there's the circumstances, and there's life. You are life. You are life. You are life. And in a calm mind, you have happiness. In a clear mind, you have happiness. In a clear mind, you have calm. It's your thinking that disrupts your happiness. Your thinking. That's it. That's all. So that emotional mastery, I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions? Any questions? I've gone over a bit. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to tell you about the happiness code, because you now have a sense of what I'm talking about. Creating happiness is an inside job. Nothing to do with circumstances. Can make it better, enhance it, can also work in the reverse. The happiness code is my life purpose. It's a 5-week coaching process. I'm going to do it as a group, and I'm going to make you, because you've shown up here, and those in the group that haven't been able to go, I know a lot of people working, an incredible one-time offer. This is the process of how I live. This is the process of how I make the best decisions, stay safe, stay out of fear. I'm renting, so it's costing me a fortune. I've got to leave here in a couple of months. I am aware of that, and I will do my best about it, but I have no stress whatsoever. None. The happiness code is about living your authentic self. Your authentic self is where you are. You breathe easily in your own skin. You're not trying to be someone else. You're not trying to fit in somewhere else. Your skin is cashmere, not rose thorns. When you are that person, when you are that authentic self, no matter what happens in life, when you know emotional mastery, when you accept who you are, when you've let go, when you are living in presence, when you understand gratitude, when you bring yourself together as a holistic whole, and it is spiritual because it's an inside thing. That's where your power is. Your power's not out here. No matter how much money you've got, your power for your happiness is not out here. In fact, I was working with a client yesterday who makes, I don't believe this, $250,000 a week and is really, really unhappy. Now, me, well, not me actually necessarily, but for anyone that's got me and my rent, I suppose, who's got financial struggles or worries, you would think if I had that, I'd have everything. This person doesn't think that way. This person is working through the happiness code. He's working through it's a one-to-one. They're working the happiness code because even with everything, every benefit that brings him, he doesn't have the peace, the calm. It's all in his head, not in his heart. He's living in his head, not in his heart. You, if you're struggling, are living up here, not in here. So I do the happiness code as one-to-one, but I want to do it for those of you who have stepped up, signed up. I can see there's already 6 people watching. So you've given up time in your day. I understand, of course, that a number of you can't because you're working. I understand that. And actually, probably in future, I will do it in the evening. However, if they've taken self-responsibility, they will watch this later or they won't. It's up to them. But for this round of the happiness code, which starts in September, the investment is only £500. After that, it's going to be £1,000. For those of you who are committed and sign up by tomorrow, because it's not fair on some of the ladies that aren't able to watch this now, for those of you who committed and sign up by tomorrow, I'll send an email. You will also get a one-to-one coaching session with me, which my coaching sessions are £350 per hour. So you'll get a full hour with me on your own to go through anything that is concerning you. The power of group programs is that what one person needs, they need to know, another person doesn't know they need to know, but then they hear it like, oh my God, I need to know that too, or I didn't understand. That's the power of group programs. And I am telling you now, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you feel trapped, no matter where you feel struggle, you can do this because it's who you are meant to be. It's how you are designed to live. You are not designed to live in unhappiness. That is the hardest way of living. The easiest way of living is to live in happiness. Sadly, through your conditioning and your experiences, you have unlearned how to, and the happiness code is the process that will allow you to step back into happiness, that will allow you to reignite that happiness of life, that joy of life, that fulfillment of life, that will allow you to find your life purpose. It will enhance your relationships. It cannot not enhance. It enhances every relationship. It enhances every interaction. You make better choices. You respond better. You have freedom of choice. Maybe even like me, you get trapped in your drinking or eating or a behavior, people pleasing. Maybe you're trapped in there. Wherever you are right now, you are trapped in your mind. You are trapped in your conditioning. You are trapped in your path or your fears for the future. And all of those can be let go. And the wonder of that, the happiness code, which is my life purpose, it is my life purpose. I know that I went through everything I went through for this. I know I did it for my sake, and now I know that I did it to change other people's lives as well, to transform lives. I'm a very powerful, passionate coach. So if you are interested in joining the Happiness Code and you want to take advantage of the discount, which is it's only £500, as of Sunday it goes up to £700. As of Tuesday, when the group closes, it will be up till Sunday. It's £500 up till Saturday. I'm not going to leave it longer than that. I want people to commit. From Sunday at 6:50, and then up until Tuesday it's 7:50, and at that point the doors close. There'll be no. I think I've decided self-responsibility is key to happiness. The happiness code that's what I need from you. Self-responsibility. That's what you need from you. And what you need from me is the how. And I have that. It's called the happiness code. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope very much to see you inside the Happiness Code. You can choose whether to create the life of happiness you deserve, or you can choose to create the life of unhappiness you don't deserve. And right now you have one small sneak preview of how to unlock the deep secrets of emotional mastery. Have a wonderful day, ladies. And I will talk to you soon. Let's take care. Bye-bye.